Today's guest on the Neil Wilkins podcast is Eric Mchugh. Now, for those of you who have been following my podcast for a while, will know Eric because this is the second appearance, the second conversation that we have had. But we're back to talk something subtly different because there's been a bit of an evolution, I guess you could say, in Eric's world from what we were talking about before. For those of you who don't know Eric, he's a serial entrepreneur and visionary technologist with a mission to build tools that make the world better. So that is certainly some big life purpose. So welcome back, Eric.
Hey, Neil, thanks for having me. I'm really grateful to be here again.
Yeah, well, it's great to see you because I can remember from our previous conversation, we were talking about big dreams, doing right and doing good by AI. Is that how you're seeing it play out since we talked?
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I'm seeing it play out. Because I view AI just like any other technology. It's simply just a neutral tool. So just like I can use a knife to cut a piece of cake for like my family, or I can use it to do harm, the knife itself is neutral. It's the user who's adding a good or bad value to that. And AI is just the same, but it's amplified because obviously AI can be used to leverage people's natural talents and make us more productive. And if the people who are creating AI are generally good people, which most people creating AI are generally good people, then AI is going to be good. And most people using AI are generally good people, then AI is going to be good. Because like, despite what the media says, I believe that like 95% of people are, you get along, you say hello to this supermarket, you be friendly, they're nice, they're kind. And if that's what AI is being based off, I think we're in for a better society. And I think AI itself is going to unleash people's productivity, which will allow them to be more authentic and more themselves and doing stuff that they actually care about, that actually helps people. In return, they'll make more money doing stuff they care about and helping people. And if that's the base incentive, I think like 10 to 20 years, I think we'll be in a better spot than we are right now.
It's interesting that neutrality that you talk about because I think for some people, yes, they see it as a tool, they see it as an enabler, could be for automation, could be for getting efficiency, could just be helping with, creating a piece of content for socials. But for some people, it seems to be already going a lot deeper, something that I guess they wouldn't necessarily perceive as being neutral. That's kind of when it's feeling human, and particularly with kind of voice interaction now. You go onto ChatGPT or Perplexity, many others are available, and press the little microphone, and then you can be talking almost, it feels sometimes, human to human. Of course, it's not, it's human to machine, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that. Do you think we're kind of going beyond the neutral?
I would say everything is neutral, and the meaning you assign to it is what gives it the value. But I'm glad you caught on that point because that's actually something that dating it solves for a lot of people. So I've noticed a lot, like you said, like I've talked to AI, you've talked to AI. I'm sure we have plenty of other people who talk to AI, and they use it for human interactions. But there's an issue with that. So like, let's say when you talk to ChatGPT, like you're like, okay, I'm going on a podcast with Eric Mchugh. What should we talk about? Well, we've talked about this last time. What should we do? It'll give you an answer, and the answer you'll like because that answer is based on what it knows about you. So it's missing context from me. And so if you're using it to interact with people, and this is what dating AI does, it's just like a layer 2 on top of ChatGPT, is we take context from both parties to produce an answer that better serves both parties. So when you're talking to AI, it is seeming more and more human, but it's also more and more a mirror. Going back to the neutrality of AI, it's like if most people are good people using it, like, I think you're a good, like I can tell you're a good person. So when you're talking with AI is probably going to give positive responses. But like if a bad person who uses AI to talk to themselves like a human, it'll just amplify his bad behaviors. So I think that actually goes back to, I mean, everyone has an opinion, but it goes back to the neutrality of AI. So like if you're the one being good, then AI is going to be good, which is good for me. So that's good for you. So it's a win-win.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, just on this point, my wife and I have been having a little play with our own versions of ChatGPT on the chat, the voice kind of chat enablement there, and my GPT has got a very different feeling to her than my wife's ChatGPT, who she's been a little bit flirty with by her own admittance and is kind of a bit playful. And just to see whether or not we can almost get the mirroring back a different kind of, let's call it personality, as far as GPT could have a personality, but it does have that feel. I mean, I can remember the first time, and it wasn't that long ago, that I heard her talking to the GPT, and it kind kind of giggled. It had a little chuckle to itself, and then it said a joke and laughed at its own joke. Now, my GPT wouldn't be doing that. So there was this kind of almost mirroring and interpretation of the input that she'd been giving versus the one I'd been giving. And the output was fundamentally different. Mine is actually a bit like me, probably a lot more serious, a lot more kind of, it's factual. Let's kind of get to the answer. Whereas for Sonia, it's very different. It's very much more kind of playful and explorative and a bit more creative, because that is very much her. So it's kind of an interesting thing seeing that playing out with, in a sense, the same neutral tool.
Yeah, no, because it's the same base, but it's just adding your own personalities to the GPT. So I think what we're about to see, and I love that you're kind of ahead on this, because a lot of people aren't talking to ChatGPT, but the way you're talking about the GPTs right now is you like them because they're more personalized to your specific things. So like your GPT can, I'm sure it knows you better. It's more factual, it's more logical, but it can probably better help you with whatever work you need to get done. Whereas if you're going to use your wife's GPT, you're talking like, I'm sure it could be helpful, but like you'd rather use your own GPT because it knows you best. It knows what you're thinking. It knows what you're going to do, and it can better support you in whatever your mission is. So in a way, you are prompting the GPT, and it's a layer 2 on top of you. And like even like our own chat GPT with dating. So what we do, and it's probably similar for, well, we're a layer 2. So like you connect, what dating is, it's like an AI powered matchmaker. So what you do is you connect all your social media accounts, like photos, Instagram, Twitter, all that cool stuff. You chat with GPT, and on the back end, it's generating tags for you. So like hashtag meditation, hashtag reading, hashtag podcast, hashtag entrepreneur. It gives you a correlation on that. And then that's what it uses to interact with you and generate matches. So we're creating a personalized AI assistant based on you to interact with other people for better matchmaking purposes. So I think, yeah, no, it's really just doing the same thing, just like in a dating point of view.
And there's a real kind of sensitivity, I guess, in there. I mean, we'll talk, I think, initially, let's just talk about, good guys on both sides of this equation, kind of coming together through this kind of AI interaction. I mean, I think we need to kind of eventually get onto the whole kind of, fake profiles and some of the challenges and privacy things that potentially you could face in this arena. But just let's keep it just at a kind of a high level, sort of positive at this stage, because I'm curious to kind of know how this, when you talk about this layer 2 or this kind of sort of second layer, so this is something that sort of sits on the top then of a standard kind of AI platform that does all the almost the engine room stuff, and this is the layer on top that has your data. Is that what we're saying?
That's exactly right. So if we remember, we talked about crypto before, where we had like cryptocurrencies where like there's an L1 like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and there's layer 2s who sit on top of those main protocols, and you handle the transaction speed. So what dating is we're L2 on top of ChatGPT. So the cool thing about that is every time they push an upgrade, every time they learn, our software gets smarter. And if something else goes better, like Grok becomes a new one, becomes a new king or whatever, we can migrate on top of that. So that's why we can get highly personalized. It's because we're not in competition with them. We're working together with them. Because I mean, like, let's be real. I don't think you want to compete with ChatGPT. I wouldn't want to compete with ChatGPT. But like, hey, we're synergistic. Let's work together.
So in reality then, I mean, if we're talking sort of through dating, it is one of those kind of life decisions. One, whether you go on a dating app or not. Two, once you're on that app, how much am I going to give about myself? How honest am I going to be about myself? And two, just how much am I going to kind of trust this interaction, or should I just sit at home and wait for a recommendation from a friend to meet somebody? I guess that's the kind of the spectrum that people are kind of working with here. What kind of level of sort of safety or trust do people have to be kind of looking for or expecting with something like this? Because I guess once the data is out there, it's kind of out there.
Yeah, so in terms of safety and trust, the cool thing is I think we both believe that AI is the future. So like a year ago, we were having much more trouble getting people to sign up for an AI-powered dating app because like, what is this? I'm kind of scared, blah, blah, blah. But now that AI is becoming more and more mainstream, they trust it more and more. So like we found that people who actually use ChatGPT are much more comfortable using the dating app for its purpose because they already get it. And in terms of trust and safety, like there are issues like we don't store Wednesday. What we do is like a scan of the data to generate your tags or traits for your profile. And that's always constantly updating. So it's not like we're storing it. It's more of like a scan. Like you connect your photos, you connect your Twitter, and it gives you like different traits, and then you get matches based off of that. And this also solves the issue of fake profiles on dating apps, because let's be real, like, I know, like, fake profiles have become more and more of a problem on dating apps, because I mean, I'm sure we've seen like AI influencers, AI models, AI, all that. And then since with AI, they're becoming more conversational. So with our system, it's like we auto generate profiles based on a user's digital footprint. So like I could honestly take a picture of your face right now and create 60 different profiles on Tinder with like just different captions, different, like, just automate them, automate the conversation, and then use that to interact with people, which is wasting their time, which is an opportunity cost from time spent with the right person. But if we're auto generating profiles based on a user's whole digital footprint, if they connect Facebook, if they connect photos, if they connect location, if they connect Apple Music, that's much harder to fake than me just auto generating 6 profiles.
And it kind of gives that, yes, that real kind of depth, I guess, of things that, in a natural sense, somebody, completing a standard profile on a standard platform might forget that, music preference could be potentially huge. Whereas actually using AI, this is kind of automating all of the best bits, really, but also keeping it very consistent, because I'm guessing, I don't know, I haven't done this, but I'm guessing that somebody, using an app like this, first date is arranged, they're going to check out that person. Well, you would hope that they would,
Yeah.
and maybe look elsewhere. So they're going to look on their social profiles. And if they see a consistency, then there's something kind of quite, comforting, I guess, before that first encounter in a real world sense, to be kind of, seeing that consistency play out across all of the different kind of channels that you might find somebody through. So, yeah, that kind of is that kind of a way of, I guess, cross-checking from a sort of sensibility angle?
No, that's exactly right. So like the profiles are auto generated, the matches are auto generated, but it's based on your digital footprint. And the cool thing is we create a system where it encourages people to dive into the person more. So just like on Twitter, you can like act rock and then ask it questions. I can let's and you can match with friends too. Like, so for example, if we were matched together, me and you, it will give us suggestions based on, oh, me and Neil, I'm going to England for the first time. What should we eat? And then it'll give us a suggestion based on both our preferences. Oh, we're going to hang out. What movie should we watch? Oh, great. You guys should watch this movie based on X, Y, and Z. Oh, we're going to watch that movie. What characters are we most like? And that gives you characters that you're most like. And the cool thing is, like, what differentiates dating is the incentive structure behind dating. So if you think about it logically, like Tinder, Match, Hinge, if what happens once they create a match, that match then leaves the app, and this results in the loss of a paying customer for that dating app. So they're incentivized to keep people on like a Ferris wheel of churn marketing. Whereas dating, we can switch to a relationship butler post match. So like, let's say you match with like the love of your life, you can ask it questions about each other. It's like, hey, we're having this issue. What should we do? And it gives you an answer that based on both their personalities. Like, oh, what should we do for our first? We have our anniversary next month. What should we do? Oh, the place you had your second date has half off ice cream, and they have live music your wife loves. This is great. Or it's like, oh, her birthday's coming up. Oh, you usually miss this. Don't miss this up. She just added this thing to her Pinterest board. That could make a good gift, and it can support you throughout the whole relationship. So that's more of the goal.
That's a very interesting one, isn't it? So we're looking at a real kind of lifetime journey here, because, as you say, otherwise it you kind of almost, yeah, you switch off once you've found that relationship, you found your soulmate. Why would you need to be using something that doesn't then extend the value beyond that kind of initial encounter? Whereas with this, yeah, you can see multifaceted interaction in the future, and I guess this kind of, yeah, almost opens up, yeah, sort of other opportunities, I guess, for kind of embedding, new sort of features and services in.
Yeah, absolutely right. So there's more features that we're talking about, but like it also extends our total addressable market to pretty much everyone in the world. Like right now, we're working with like I'm talking to schools right now who are thinking about white labeling it for matching like your, because my cousin's in college, that's how you got connected. But it's like, imagine matching with your dorm mate, like the first person you meet at college, like who am I rooming with? Usually just some random person at the dorm, but if you can use AI to better match you, that's going to be a better experience for you. And we worked with college focus groups. So their thing is they match college students like across the United States with different mentors. And they were able to use and they also give us wonderful feedback from like a university, but like they were able to use our product and service to match with a different mentor. Like it was Boston and Los Angeles. So like, how are you going to meet someone in Boston if I'm in LA? Like, how can you mentor someone? And like, it's hard to do, but like we were able to match like startup entrepreneurs with some Boston University students, and it actually worked out pretty well because the chemistry was there. So like the way I like to put dating is we put users in the position to succeed. So we're using AI to enhance the human connection, not replace it. So like, let's say it'll give me, and the cool thing about AI is it's really good at two things. It's really good at analyzing large amounts of data and recognizing patterns within those large amounts of data that we would miss. So like, let's say I'm on the app, I get my three matches, Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. It's like, okay, Jane seems cool. I keep it telling me about Jane. I see her bio. I'm like, okay, could be a good match. And let's say dating match just because, okay, you're both into meditation. That's high correlation. You're both into fitness. That's high correlation. Oh, you both follow this one person on Apple Music. They have a concert coming up. Would you like me to suggest to stay with Jane? We say yes. And dating specifically suggested this concert because we both follow it. But let's say in another alternate reality, it made the match because of that, but it didn't specifically say it. It's still in the background, so we could still meet it in person, and then that could come up organically, so that chances of us actually connecting are higher. And the cool thing is, it's always learning because it's AI. So like, maybe I'm into someone who's opposite of me. Like, you never know. People are into different things. So it'll start off with feeding me people similar. Like I say, no, no, no. It'll pick up, and then it'll auto adjust its algorithm. So the cool thing is, like right now, it's as dumb as it's ever going to be. So the more I interact with it, the better it gets at matching me. But again, it's AI, so it's good at pattern recognition. So the more you would interact with, the better it gets at matching you. But the more both of us interact with it, it's going to pick up patterns that are between both of us that we would completely miss. But so there's like a network effect. So like if 1,000 people are using it, it's learning from all those 1,000 people. So like you'd be like, okay, you're wearing a black shirt. Great, black shirt matches with Indian food for whatever reason. Like that makes no sense to me because it's like, why would someone who likes black shirts wear like Indian matches someone who works with Indian food? But like well, the data is there. It's like apparently there is a correlation. They can figure out why. So it's going to pick up on all of those little things that we miss consistently over time.
And this, yeah, opens up all these opportunities. And I'm curious about the one there about going for almost somebody out of preference, because I guess a lot of the time, you would say, if you think about your friends network and maybe family members, you find that typically people who tend to get on well, they tend to have a lot in common. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of things in terms of preferences and interests and lifestyle and demographic. A lot of those things would correlate. What happens when somebody has basically an idea that, I've kind of done with that. I've maybe, had a number of relationships where it has been high correlation, and I just want to have something completely different. I'm not saying me, I'm talking
Yeah,
philosophically here.
of course.
I hasten to add, whilst my wife is listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to go anywhere else. But if I was, then would there be almost like an override? Because it could be that, again, sort of choice of shirt or choice of preference or lifestyle or music, I might want to almost break out of my little echo chamber of life where, I like rock music, but maybe I think, oh, I wonder if I could like somebody or sort of date somebody who actually likes soul or jazz or something like that. Something completely that isn't in my kind of view or vision right now. How would that work? Because would AI be able to accommodate something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the cool thing about our profiles is the profiles and traits. So the traits are the traits we use to tag someone. They're both auto-generating on a daily basis. So let's use the rock music example. Okay, you listen to a lot of rock music, you connect your Apple Music, it shows you that. But then you're like, oh, jazz seems cool. Let's start listening to jazz. It'll pick up for that and add the jazz trait automatically for you. So that's more of a subtle override. But again, the point of this AI is to find you who you're looking for, and that could be anyone. So you could always just tell the AI directly what you're looking for. It's like, okay, well, I'm really into rock music, but I want to try jazz, and it would pick up on that. Or it can be more subtle. It's like, it'd be like, oh, what are you doing today, Neil? I'm going to try this jazz concert for the first time, and it also picks up on that level. So within the app, there's a section where you can see your memories, so you can kind of see your conversation, and then can see what you're basing off of. And then if you really want to get asked Cupid, just like, Cupid, what do you think I'm looking for? And then it'll give you a description, and then you can be like, oh, that's great because I was looking for this in the past, but this is what I'm looking for now. And the reason behind that is because, yeah, no, you're right. Like, people are always changing. Like, people, like, let's say I pick up pickleball next week. I get really into pickleball. Like, people are changing. They're looking for different things. They're trying new hobbies. Those hobbies are different, creating a different chemical reaction in the mind, creating an entirely different person. So AISL, our AI does capture that pretty well.
That's really fascinating, isn't it? And I guess this is, I mean, I think did it there. This is just almost forcing us, but requiring us to almost think outside the box, isn't it? Because yeah, that would never have been a question before this conversation that I would ever have thought of even would cross my mind. And yet we're having to, as humans here, think beyond the current sort of limitations of how we've always done stuff. And I don't think I would ever have even, as I say, come across that kind of level of questioning had it not been for us talking about this. So, yeah, it does require us all to really kind of think forward. And I guess for me, one of the really kind of searching questions for something like this app would be to get your kind of view, Eric, on the whole kind of agents thing, where, for a number of us now, we are starting to build agents or AI assistants, and they're becoming, quite prevalent, certainly in business, where they are starting to take on, menial tasks at the moment, but they won't be in time. These will be our digital avatars that will be able to do a lot of the things for us that, we don't necessarily have time or want to make time to do, freeing us up for more of the dating, I guess, or something like that. So would this kind of a service, this kind of dating app, would this also apply to digital twins? Because I could imagine a time in the not too distant future where digital twin of Neil wants to go off and have its own life when it's kind of off duty, and actually in a digital sense maybe go on a digital AI date with another avatar. This kind of thing is potentially going to be happening. Would it be able to accommodate something like that?
Oh, I think what you mentioned, I think it's eventually going to happen where we'll have my digital twin, you'll have your digital twin, and it'll be based on our data and what we've interacted with. And the cool thing about this is like our platform, we've had conversations with people like at other AI companies, like, oh, this would be a good base for that just because right now we're probably the most personalized AI chat support system out there because we're based on the big one and we learn about all your data and then just work on top of that. So it'd be a great way to make it digital twin. And the cool thing is, and I view AI as a way to free up people because I think a lot of people are stuck doing menial tasks that they want to do just simply to make a living, which don't get me wrong, like you got to do what you got to do. But like, imagine you have your digital twin, Neil, like you're not even paying attention to him, but in the background, he's off in digital cyberspace doing interactions, doing business deals with my digital twin. And that business deal results in money in both of our accounts. And then we both get paid. Now we have more free time to either go on dating, start a new project, hang out with your wife. It frees up our human capital to do stuff that we actually want to do. And of course, like our digital twins, like I'm sure my digital twin will outperform me. I'm sure your digital twin will outperform you. And it's funny, like even if we didn't meet up, like our digital twins could meet up, and that'd be a good way for me to actually find people and meet in real life. It's like, let's see, who'd my digital twin organically hang out with? Oh, hang out with Neil. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, they had a great time. And yeah, so I could see that as a future. I think this would be interesting.
It is just fascinating. I can imagine there's some people kind of listening to this thinking, what are you guys talking about?
No,
It'll never be like that. The humans will continue to kind of own the world and dominate and this, that. But I can see this. I can really see this coming soon. I mean, any time that you spend in any kind of I guess metaverse kind of space, like spatial, for example, where I've got a number of kind of meeting rooms and run courses. I'm actually running one tomorrow, actually, in there for the day. And in those spaces, there are metaverse nightclubs where digital twins, avatars are actually meeting up at set times to party. And obviously they have their human keeper kind of there with them currently, but there will come I think in a very, very sort of near
sure.
future, there will come a time where the human keeper, if we call them that, is going off and maybe going to the movies or going to, go for a walk around the park, leaving their avatar to do whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Obviously, hopefully well prompted with good intentions, etc. But I can see it is literally just a step away for anybody who thinks, oh, this is the stuff of future. I think we are probably just a few pieces of code away from actually having that. What kind of timescales would you see this sort of thing happening in?
So that's going to happen at different speeds for different people, and I could see and what's going to happen is it's going to result in like me, user, and the person providing the service. It's going to result in the top people getting more and more business, and the users getting better and better products and services. And I could see the two things that are going to come first, or like get hit hard the hardest, are both law with AI and I think just writing code with AI. Because I'm sure you've heard of a Claude, like how much people are writing code with Claude. So now, if I want to create a website, I won't have to go out and find a website designer. If I want to draft up a legal document, because Lord knows how these are expensive, I don't have to find a lawyer. If I want to find one of the best lawyers in the world, I could outsource my work to this digital twin equivalent, and he could spit it back to me like a really good legal document. And the cool thing is it's now global too. So like he can be in Nepal, he can be in China, he can be in Korea, he works all hours. It doesn't matter. I still get the best products and services and he still gets paid, and it's a win-win. So I think law and I think just building code is going to be like building companies is just got a lot easier. And I think that switches people's dynamics. And now, like, imagine like, if you want to start a company like 5 years ago, it costs like thousands, if not millions of dollars, lots of time, lots of effort. But now, if you want to create a company, you can probably do it in like a day or two, which is going to force. And I think money's a neutral thing. Like, for me, everything is neutral. Like, you can make money in bad ways, you can make money in good ways. It comes back to bite you. But I think people are happiest when they're serving other people. So I think the best way to serve other people is to follow your natural gifts, because I'm number one in the world at me, you're number one in the world at you. Like if I want to beat you at being you, there's no way I can do it, but you can't beat me at me being me. So now if I want to serve as many people as possible through creating products and services, and now that opportunity is more available to me through these AI and cryptocurrency, I can start cranking out products and services to try to help more and more people. Some will fail, some will succeed, but either way, it's a learning experience. And also like digital twin AI avatars are going to be very important like that. Like let's say I figure I'm one of the best in the world at any activity. I can now export that and share my gift with the world at a quicker rate, which I think is pretty cool.
It really is, isn't it? And I think it kind of it relies on, I think, people who are ready and willing for the challenge to say, okay, I've got to learn this stuff. I've got to really think this through. I've got to dedicate proper real time to, yeah, kind of just almost being the creative version of myself that's been restrained by the old style systems. Because now the whole rule book has been just completely torn up, hasn't it? Really, it's like now the times are being squeezed. You know, the budget is not required. The technical skill set, well, that's now AI. It kind of is like, no, but what can you dream? Because you can now do it. So the whole kind of, and I sort of pitched you as a visionary technologist at the start, Eric, and, very much see you kind of in that light. But it is about being visionary, isn't it? It's about having those kind of thoughts and ideas and just being super creative. And it feels like anybody could do it.
Yeah, no, and obviously creative is really important, but I would say the better word to describe it is authentic. Because like if you're being authentic, you're being creative. Because again, you're being you. Like for me, this dating app just kind of like it's not like I tried to do the dating app. I was just doing my normal activities, and it just happened. Like I was on a podcast for like this is how we came in contact last time. I was talking about a cryptocurrency thing. I went on a cryptocurrency podcast with this dude named Mark. Became friends after this AI thing started following me on Twitter. I'm like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's Cupid AI. Oh, that's helps a lot of people. That's interesting. Fits my skill set. I'm good at dating, and we've been building that ever since. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I was following my like actual curiosity. And once I started building dating, I picked up so much AI. Because again, like don't get me wrong, like there are three. I think there are three levels of AI. The first is you're just kind of using it, so like using different tools, using Veo, using Claude, using all that. That's one level using ChatGPT because you're using AI, which is very important. I would say the level above that is when you're getting creative with it. So, like for example, you're using it to kind of bend the rules to your favor. So it's like, oh, I'm trying to create a video. Let me prompt it with ChatGPT. Okay, I try this, but it doesn't hit the terms of service for VO3. Okay, well, let's add to the prompt. Oh, well, I'm not trying to do this. Make it so it's not against terms of service of VO3. It's like changes I give my videos. So that's me kind of like, I guess, bending the rules a bit to make it happen for me. And that comes when you're messing around with a bunch of different platforms. And because I'm sure you're using AI in your own different way. Like you have your own GPT. It's like our ways are different. I'd say the third level for AI integration is when you have your own AI that people are actually using. Because like I picked up so much stuff like innately from creating the AI. Like prompting AI is one thing, but prompting the prompt is like a different level, and you just have to think of it in a different way. It's like how can I and then like yeah, you have to think of it different ways. Like how can this help people? Why is it doing this? Why is it freaking out? Why is it speaking a Jamaican accent? Why is it saying no to this person? Why did it do this? And you have to just keep on tweaking it over and over again. So you're really good at prompting with that. And the cool thing is once you go to stage 3, you usually just go start stage 1 and you cycle all over again.
That's a good little kind of almost little checklist of ways to approach a journey here, because I think whether it's going through dating or any of the other iterations that I'm guessing your platform, Eric, can kind of morph into in the future, which sounds like there's multiple different ways and facets that this could be used. It kind of almost it follows that process of yes, just getting really kind of almost sort of professionally intimate with the AI to really kind of understand how it's working and how to get best value from it, because that as you say, that level one prompt is only so far and is only ever going to take you so far, but that thinking beyond that, that's where the magic really happens. So how do you kind of find yourself I guess, fueled by the new ideas? Are there sort of particular people you follow? Are there particular platforms that you kind of watch and monitor? Because this thing, there is no playbook, is there? It's not like you've picked up, this is the instruction manual, if you like, and I'm going to follow this and then get my dating app out the other end. Is you are literally one of the pioneers here. So where do you kind of get your inspiration and ideas?
So, in terms of inspiration ideas, like on social media, I like to take the via negativa route, and that's like something that an author called Philip came up with. So instead of adding stuff, I started taking away stuff, which is actually really helpful. So like I was on Instagram Reels for a while. I'm like, let's scroll, let's see how much of this stuff is helpful. Let's see how much of this stuff adds value. Pretty much none of the value. So then I deleted that. I replaced it with chess.com. So I'm really conscious of the content that I'm consuming. So like I try to stay away from like Instagram, TikTok, just because I know they're designed to brain drain you and make you feel dumber. So like I like long form spiritual content that's always playing in the background. So like right now I'm on a Miyamoto Musashi binge. So like I have a video on the back, like after this podcast, then I'll start doing work and I have Miyamoto Musashi on the background. So I've been getting more into spiritual content. Like Hermes Trismegistus is probably the big one for me. He's the founder of Hermeticism. Obviously Tesla's cool. The Buddha, like all the Indian greats, like the autobiography of Yogi is really fantastic. I don't know, like I like to read a lot, and the cool thing about reading a lot is you get to pick up on some of the best pieces of knowledge and nuggets from some of the smartest people throughout history, and you can always enhance it with AI too. Just like I wrote, like, hey, ChatGPT, give me 100 lesson. Lesson plan will take me like 5 hours to instill the teachings of any person into my knowledge, and then it gives you a lesson plan and just kind of absorb it. So that's a great way to speed up that process with AI.
Wow. So there's a different way, everybody. Most people who answer that question are not Eric Mchugh. Most people will say it's this platform, it's this particular influencer, it's this thought leader. But Eric actually comes at this from a completely kind of left field angle. And I love that, because that is the way to break out of the echo chamber that most of us live in, isn't it, really? Because if you're consuming the same stuff, you are only going to be able to, it's a bit like an LLM, really, isn't it? You're only going to actually be able to use the resources within it. Whereas actually your approach, Eric, is no, I'm going to be expansive. I'm actually going to look beyond these things, and I'm going to find that I am triggered and maybe catching ideas, and things will float past as little concepts. And I can think, hold on a minute, I can apply that. It's not related, but it's totally related. Is that the kind of thought process that you're in with that?
Well, that was a much better way to word than I ever could, but that's exactly right. Because like, no, everything is related to me. Like again, like it's like again, it's your diet. It's like if you eat bad food, you feel bad the next day. I mean, it's no fault. So if you're around bad people, if you're around bad content, if you're around bad activities, you'll feel drained the next day. And you can't be expensive when you're being drained.
And this whole AI thing is about expansion, just from a thought, from a feeling, from a knowledge, from an information, from every perspective that you look at. Expansion really is the key here. And this probably feels like that's the theme of our conversation again, Eric, isn't it? I always come away from talking to you by sort of thinking, yeah, I'm looking at this differently, which is so refreshing. It really is, because it's very easy to get trapped in your lane, stuck in your lane. Do you feel that that will be the Eric for the future? Do you think you'll always be expansive and always looking for that next kind of visionary idea that comes from just somewhere else, not in the work that you're actually doing?
I mean, you never know what happens in the future, but I believe in expansion and contraction. So right now I'm in an expansive phase. I'm sure there'll be times when I'm contracting, and there's times I'll be expansive. So I think it's gonna be an alternating cycle.
It's
So it's like
interesting.
it's like breathing. So you can't always be expansive. It doesn't simply. It worked with the Big Bang, but like I don't know. Like if you have to be expansive for a while, then like for me, I do love ice. Like build. for me, a tangible example is like I love to go on meditation retreats, but I can't just do meditation retreats all day because then I'll go crazy. So like maybe I'll expand for a while, but if this company goes well, then I'll retreat for like a month or two and do Vipassana meditation retreat, which would be the phase of a contraction, which will help me further expand. So that's how I would do it. But yeah, I mean, you never know. I could completely ignore what I just said and do neither. So like,
Because that's the rule, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not tying yourself down to anything. You're waiting and going with the flow. And that's proper flow, isn't it? That really is.
Yeah, you have to go to flow because if you fight the flow, you could win, but you're tired and it's often not worth it. But if you're just completely bending to the flow, like you have no autonomy and you just kind of end up where you end up. But the way to do it is just operate within the flow and make slight optimizations based on your results and just keep on optimizing and following your gut too.
Strong advice. So if somebody wants to follow their gut, then Eric, and actually get this app and start exploring and seeing the feature set, expanding themselves in their connections, how do they get it? Where should they get it? Is it Apple Store?
So it's in the Apple Store for United States customers. So just search DATING in the Apple Store. We're building out the Android version right now, so that'll start off on the desktop, and then we're going to expand globally. So we're in the early stage expansion phase. We're going to get 10,000 users in our hometown, California, then get 1 million in the United States, and after get 1 million in the United States, probably open up to larger companies like obviously like the UK and Europe's going to be a big one. We're going to see where it goes. So we're following like a heat map. So like we're focused on Los Angeles, but we're seeing where users are organically joining like within the country. So it's like, oh, people in Nashville are joining for whatever reason. Then we're going to go follow that. So that's, again, we're going with the flow on where we're going to get our users.
Nice launch marketing plan there for everybody hearing this. Is if you do decide you're going to go with the flow and you've come up with the next layer 2 on top of ChatGPT, others are available, and you're emulating Eric's work, then yes, those heat maps are a great way of controlling and scaling your expansion as you grow in a way that is relevant to your audience, but also relevant to your business. Eric, as always, a great conversation. It's always fascinating to catch up with you and your work. So thank you again for your time today.
No, thank you so much. I had a blast talking with you. I learned from talking with you. You have a way with words, man.
You're too kind. Great stuff. Have a great day, Eric.